I just heard about World Vegetarian Day. I don't know who gets to decide these things. Is there some global governmental body in charge of these declarations? Maybe my conspiracy-minded friends are right, and there is a new world order that all nations co-vote in. This is a glimpse of the future. I've always been sympathetic to vegetarians. The term used to mean that you didn't eat meat. But now there are additional terms, like lacto-vegetarian for people who are vegetarian, but also drink milk. I guess if you don't like peanuts, then you could be a peanut vegetarian. But if you like both peanuts and apples, then you would call yourself a peanut apple vegetarian. It gets confusing. The world seems to have accepted the concept of eating less of or no flesh foods. I remember as a child, in the 1950s, being looked upon as weird. My neighbors thought my whole family was weird. We didn't eat bread made with white flour, and we ate vegetables. Being a vegetarian never hampered our appetites, and we were as healthy, or even healthier than the neighbor kids. The one drawback to vegetarianism, however, is the encouragement it makes for binging. Last month I visited my old neighborhood that I hadn't seen in over 50 years, and it brought back memories long overlooked, like the time my father brought home a large box of bananas and stored them in the cellar. Back then basements were called cellars. For the next 2 weeks I binged on bananas. I was in monkey heaven, as I ate them with every meal, and in between. In the summer we would have bushels of peaches, buckets of blueberries, baskets of strawberries, among other things. I remember at the age of 9 or 10 spending an early summer day with the family picking strawberries. My mother and father worked hard. My brother and sister were less productive, and I must have eaten as many as I picked. On the drive home the movement down the country roads made me sick, and in the emergency my mother shoved an empty quart jar in front of my mouth. After filling the jar I felt a little better, but my love for binging on strawberries never dissipated. My brother had a different experience with maple sugar. After his overindulgence on that flavor, his desire turned to disgust for the remainder of his life. I didn't mind, as that left more for me to enjoy. Let's face it, binging is fun. Just this week I made macaroni salad, misjudging the quantity of pasta as I poured it into the large pot of boiling water. After boiling a half dozen eggs and dissing a raw onion, I stored the salad sans mayo in 5 containers. I'll add the mayo to each container as it's open for consumption. My wife and I'll be grazing on it for the next week. Being a vegetarian also encourages having a larger inventory of food in the pantry and results in nurturing a more generous family culture. It's easier to invite someone home for a meal when you know there's plenty of food to be served, and this reminds me to ask, would you like to come over this evening and have some good macaroni salad?